rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
The Super League Basketball Championship. The ultimate competition and a chance to compete for superiority against the best in the land. A round-robin league format played across 23 weeks. All 9 SLB franchises will compete against each other 4 times, home and away. The team with the best record after 32 games will be crowned Super League Basketball champions, whilst the top 8 teams will all progress to the postseason playoffs.
Super League Basketball on deck for you this evening, live from Newcastle as we enter the final weekend in the SLB Championship action as the Eagles look to ride up the table as they face the Leicester Riders, who saw the SLB title hopes slip away at the nation's capital just 2 nights ago. 7 months later, there's still a lot of questions to be answered as we get down to the business end of the season. Game number 54 for the Newcastle Eagles. I'm your commentator, Drew Lasker, along with Ron Blaine. Ron, the playoffs are right around the corner. Teams got their suit and ties on. It's the business end of the season.
Yeah, Drew, it's the business end of the season for sure. We have 2 teams here that have nothing but big aspirations coming down the stretch here and would love nothing but a win to keep their eyes open on the prize, which is winning that playoff trophy.
Well, is it winning about the momentum, or is it more about trying to jockey for position?
I mean, it's a bit of both. It's a slippery slope with that question, honestly. But I think for the Eagles side, it's about gaining momentum as they go into the playoffs. They're currently on a 3-game win streak and would love nothing but to get another win here tonight. And for the Riders, obviously, losing that game on Wednesday night in the Capital against London, it's one that stings. But on the flip side of that, they have an opportunity to lock up second place with a win here tonight.
Well, there's your men in charge right there, Rob Paternostro and Mark Studel, 2 of the greatest coaches we have in this league.
Yeah, I mean, both coaches are very strategic with what they do, and they're very good at their jobs. And it's a matchup for the ages here tonight.
Well, let's move things along. Let's take a look what's happening around the league. We've been talking about this jam-packed schedule that is including most of the teams. You see it there. Newcastle Eagles taking care of business against the Flyers Monday, but more importantly, on Wednesday night, the London Lions became the SLB champs as they handled Leicester. And you look at the schedule, it's jam-packed there, but the Eagles will be keeping their eyes on a fixture across town as well. The Caledonia Gladiators hosting the Sharks. But then on Saturday, we get the pause for a little bit, and then look at Sunday, Ron, just jam-packed basketball there for you.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday comes down to the final game of the regular season for most teams, and nothing best than to end this season on a high note. But we always know there's going to be some losers in this contest.
Well, these fixtures will give us perspective of this. The league standings. There's still so much stuff to get caught up there. And again, Ron, how do you see this thing unfolding?
I think with London winning the league, it was a shock to some, but not to many. But as everything else pans itself out, Leicester winning a game either tonight or on this following Sunday could ensure them the second place seed. Everywhere else, 4th, 5th, and 6th, it's a tight race. It's a tight-knit race. But the Eagles would love a win tonight to climb to that 4th seed potentially against Manchester.
I actually felt like that was a shot against me, that London Lions shot, but I'll forgive you for that. But earlier I got a chance to talk with the coaches, Mark Studel of the Newcastle Eagles. But first, Rob Paternostro of the Leicester Riders. Coach, league title decider a couple days ago. You guys come up short, but you got to be proud of this squad.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think that whenever you have such a new team, a young team like ours, people don't expect you to be up there in the title race. We took it right to the wire. Disappointing night for us the other night, but certainly am proud of the way the guys have dealt with this league. It's tough from start to finish.
Well, you talk about young. You got 5 rookies on the team. What have you learned about this group?
Good people, first of all. I think that's been great, and hard workers, and also, you know, the type of team that if things don't go our way, they come back strong the next week. You know, we've had some disappointments along the way, but it's never stopped the way they've worked, never stopped the way they believed, and never stopped the way they've played together as a team.
And Zach Jackson has had an MVP type of season this year. Kind of a quiet persona, so how has he led this squad this year?
He leads by example. He's definitely more talkative than he was in the past, but fantastic basketball player, both ends of the floor. You know, tonight's not a night that you'll see him, though. He's been struggling a little bit the last week or so with an injury, and it was a little too much for him on Wednesday, so hopefully we'll get him back soon.
And finally, the Newcastle Eagles, how do you sum up this matchup this season?
Well, the Newcastle Eagles, to me, you know, obviously are one of the best teams in the league. Their record doesn't show that in the league. The fixtures have been difficult for them with Europe. Whenever they've had to play a deciding big type of game, you've seen that talent come out. They're difficult to defend. We know them well.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, besides the rest, and I use that loosely, what's a tribute to this nice little 3-game run?
Yeah, I mean, we have had more rest than normal, you know. I think we've had a chance to get better balance in our squad. Yeah, I think, you know, guys have found some rhythm. We've found a little bit more assertiveness on the defensive end, played with a little bit more force on the defensive end, a little bit more application to what we want to do, and guys in rhythm. I think Trey Pulliam's been incredible over this stretch, and, you know, he continues to grow. Excited that he's on our team and excited where we can get to.
And also, Trey, Micah Carew has had pretty much an MVP season as well.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, I've been talking a lot about Trey in recent weeks, and Mike's continued to be Mike. Mike's a genuine star of this league who cares about winning, and I think that's the best way I can describe him. And, you know, he's maybe had a couple of games where it hasn't been the normal Mike, but other guys have stepped up, and he's up on the bench screaming for his teammates. So, yeah, Mike's a guy I've loved working with. Like you say, he's had an MVP caliber season. Excited what the future holds for him.
And with the playoffs looming, matchups, it doesn't really matter. Everybody is quite tough. But how do you sum up your matchup against the Riders this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been really exciting games. You know, there's been a few close games. We've been on the wrong end of a game that we didn't like down at their place for sure. But evenly matched team. I think Coach Rob's done an incredible job with 5 or 6 rookies and, you know, Zach Jackson. So I think that they've been formidable all year. They've played their way. Excited to test ourselves tonight and continue to build.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Last 3 games, the Eagles are starting to look like that team we saw in the ENBL, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have found an identity late, as Coach Studo alluded to. They're going with the probably 7 or 8 man rotation, but more than anything, they're finding their continuity on defense, and it's leading to good offensive possessions that is finding a way to get them wins.
Well, let's take a look at our star watch. Let's kick things off with Leicester Riders. Riley Abercrombie, a guy you don't want to leave open.
Yeah, Riley Abercrombie is somebody that is very familiar to most scout reports in this league. He's shooting 37% from 3 this year, 52% from the floor, averaging 13 points a game, and just over 5 rebounds a game. And more than anything, as we see here, he can stretch the floor for this Leicester Riders offense. It's something that he's become very accustomed to through the course of this season, lighting it up from the three-point arc, and again, just making this offense flow and providing a good bit of continuity to it.
And at 6'9", he's more than just a shooter. He's a skillful player.
Yeah, very skillful. I mean, obviously, he can see over everybody with his height and his length. And again, he just provides a big spark off from Riders lineup.
Well, for the Newcastle Eagles, he's like Quaker Oaks. He can heat up quick. Money Micah Carew.
Money Mike is again another familiar face to the scout reports of most defenses in this league. He's a engine for this Eagles offense, and he's been kept quiet here lately. Obviously, he had a great outing against Bristol on Monday afternoon, scoring 19 points. But he's one of the leading scorers in this league, sitting at 17.8 points per game. And again, he just lights it up in a hurry.
Is he in your team of the year?
Oh, most definitely in my team of the year. He is the MVP of the league in my opinion, but obviously I'm not the judge of that. But big time shots, big moments. He's somebody that doesn't shy away.
Wow, the Leicester fans don't want to hear that. You see Darius Defoe there. He's been impactful as well as of late.
Very impactful. Darius played a great game on Monday. Didn't have that many minutes, but his plus minus was off the charts on Monday. And he just wants to win more than anything else. He wants to add another trophy to his already so fulfilled legacy.
Well, speaking of trophy, that beautiful playoff trophy where these teams will be aiming to, but Let's flip over to the away team, the Leicester Riders. Let's take a look at their roster. We talked about Abercrombie and his impact, but boy, Zach Jackson's going to be a big miss for them.
Zach Jackson's one of my favorite players to watch in this league, so it's a sad shame that he won't be here today, and hope he's doing well. But yeah, for the rest of this Leicester Riders starting five, obviously we spoke on Abercrombie. Let's give a big shout out to Victor Ndoku, NBL Team of the Year, getting his first start of the season here today. He's somebody that I'm very familiar with, and he deserves it, and he's played really well this season for the Loughborough Riders. But moving forward, Charles Thompson is the Defensive Player of the Year in my eyes. Finished last game with 3 blocks, 4 steals. He just does it all in the defensive end, and can also put in enough points on the basket for the offensive side of the ball.
Man, you're just giving away all the awards today. It's still to be decided.
I'm sorry.
Let's look at Newcastle Eagles roster. They running out the same starting lineup that they ran out these last 3 games. Still no Seneca Knight, but they found a way to play in his absence.
Yeah, without Seneca Knight, they've been able to roll frequently and fluently. And Cole Long is starting, obviously. Deshaun Allen Likens, Trey Pulliam has been pulling the strings, that you would say, for this offense. Money Micah Karu, Big Shot Mike, and Josh Ward-Hibbert is the Swiss Army knife that does it all for this Eagles lineup.
We got a game on your hands. Newcastle Eagles starting to get into form. And if you're the Leicester Riders, you're coming off of that loss on Wednesday night down in the nation's capital. How do you see this team bouncing back?
I mean, I think they're a team that can bounce back very easily. Their DNA, as we see Victor Ndoku here on the screen getting his first start. But they're coached by one of the best coaches in the league in Rob Paternostra, and they're going to be locked in and ready. I'm sure they've done their homework on the scout report, and they've played this Eagles team many times already this season, so very familiar with them.
Well, one man's loss is another man's game. Specifically, that young fella right there, Victor Ndoku, getting that start must be a great feeling.
Oh, definitely has to be. I mean, he received Team of the Year, British Team of the Year, as well as NBL Team of the Year, and he's somebody that's played very well throughout the course of the season, shooting the ball at a high percentage and basically just making big shots when it matters.
Well, the Newcastle Eagles, so much talk has been about their schedule. Game number 54 this season. And we were just talking off air there. It just seemed like yesterday was September and we were just kicking things off. This thing has moved pretty quickly.
Time has truly flown, and it's been a treat to be by your side for this whole season, calling these Eagles games. And the Eagles have played a lot of games this year. and I'm sure this is just another one to their list that they want to add to win.
Well, the teams are gearing in to play. We got 4-minute delay, some clock technical difficulties. Well, nothing that you don't ever not experience as a basketball player. How do you say delays usually affect you?
I mean, I like them. I mean, the guys are out there having a good time, more time to get some smiles, get some more shots up. I don't think the delay will be too much of an issue for either club.
Well, while we have a time here, let's talk a little bit about the playoffs. We talked so much about the parity in the league this season. Are the matchups important? What is the aim? What is the aim goal going into the playoffs?
I mean, it differs for each team and each club, obviously. I mean, you want to align yourself, if you have the luxury of doing so. You would like to align yourself with a matchup that you seem favorable in your eyes. And certain teams have those teams circled. Not sure about the Eagles or the Riders in that case, but I'm sure between their coaching staff, they have a certain matchup that they think they would like to play in the playoffs. And you just want the easiest path to the finals.
Well, only 2 more days to go. The SLB season wraps up on Sunday, but there's so much that can happen. The Leicester Riders still need 1 win to secure 2nd place. The Newcastle Eagles, there's the foe there, Mr. 28. They could fall anywhere from 4th to 6th. So both of these teams could match up in the playoffs if we're Newcastle. Let's focus there. Who would you say this season is their favorable matchup? Is there any? And we have the standings right there.
Oh, if I had to say, it would be Bristol Flyers, in my opinion, or the Chester Phoenix. Anybody from 6 through 8. Obviously, those top 4 teams are very tough. Manchester catching very good form as of late. The Eagles actually beat them recently as well, but I think the Bristol Flyers or the Chester Phoenix would be somebody that they would want to match up with. But if you ask me in the top 4, I'm going to go with probably the Sheffield Sharks.
Okay. I'm sure the Sharks don't want to hear that, but it's been a fantastic season. Every game here at Virtue Motors Arena has been down to the wire. And when you look at these matchups, I think the storytelling ending of the SLB season will be to give out 4 trophies. Newcastle struck first, winning the trophy down in January, followed up by the Sheffield Sharks winning the cup. And then the London Lions obviously grabbing that league title. What a story that would be if we got one more team in the conversation there.
I think so as well. And I mean, I'm sure the Leicester Riders or that club that is aspiring to do that. Granted that they've had such a great year record-wise, but yeah, it just shows that this league is balanced from top to bottom to be able to have 4 different winners in one particular season.
Well, we are moments away from tip-off. It looks like we got things sorted here in Virtue as the fans. They've been patient. Just another opportunity to go grab an extra beer, some popcorn, whatever your beverage of choice is. Rob Paternostro looked like he's ready to go. Working that gum. And Nduku getting that stuff. What do you think he's feeling right now at this moment, Ron?
I mean, he's somebody that I've come into contact with a few times and played against him a lot. He's so calm and cool and collected. I'm sure he's not nervous at all. He's practiced with these guys all season. He's played in the game on Wednesday night as well, so I don't think he's nervous at all. I mean, he doesn't strike me as that type of player.
I'm sure there's a butterfly or two sitting in that belly right now.
And I think that's excitement more than anything. I don't think it's like nervous. But I could be totally wrong. Maybe we'll have to ask him post-game or the next time. This could be a matchup of the future, so we never know.
Well, let the games begin. The Leicester Riders in a beautiful red strip. And your Newcastle Eagles, as usual, tradition here, in all black with the white strip. Newcastle Eagles versus the Leicester Riders coming at you next. 2 teams who've played a lot of games with a lot on the line. And there we go, the games can begin. We're off and running. Jalen Hunter at the rock for Leicester. Getting downhill, sneaks a pass in. Eagles get the first turnover of the night. Pulliam, who's been playing fantastic over the last couple of weeks, look to get the Eagles organizing their offense.
Really like the pace that Pulliam has kept this offense in over the last of these few games.
And Thompson right out the gate, your league-leading shot blocker, but things cleaned up by Ward Hibbert.
Right place, right time. That's perfect, Josh. Josh had a great game on Monday night, going 7 from 8 from the floor. Ooh, Money Mike goes down hard.
Nice shovel pass to Thompson, rims out. Micah Caro looks to come up hobbling after that play.
I think it was just a knee-to-knee.
Newcastle already down on bodies, no Seneca night, as we mentioned earlier. Pulliam straight in attack mode. We talked about his game over the last couple of weeks. What have you seen? What's changed for him?
I mean, just his confidence has grown. I've talked to him a couple of times pre-game, and he's just told me it's that time of the year. And you can see a different shift in his focus. And, I mean, it's a shift in his focus, but it's also a shift in his game that he's continued to add and keep the defense off balance.
Well, some dialogue there between Micah Carew and Mark Studel, giving the thumbs up. You always like to see that.
Yeah, I think it was just a knee-to-knee, little contact injury, but I think he'll be all right.
Pulliam knocks down both. Eagles out to the early 4-point lead.
And the Riders have to be careful here. They got outscored tremendously in the game Wednesday against London. It was a very quick first quarter.
Well, Thompson Not a lot of time left on the clock. Comes up short on that attempt. Micah Karu looking okay to me. And he's looking okay to this crowd at Virtue Motors Arena.
Yeah, that was a big-time three by Micah Karu. A quick 7 points here for the Eagles.
Here's Hunter. Again, Eagles on the run. Akaro looking to go 2 for 2. Not this time. Gobbled up by Abercrombie.
And a good transition defense there. What a get back by the Eagles as another turnover happens from the Riders.
Eagles offense just a little sloppy in the half court. Here's Pulliam getting to his shake and bake.
And Drew, his game is just taking the next step. And he's been playing so well as of late.
Hunter. Again.
First
Eagles
one on the floor.
looking relentless. Thompson. And finally, after 2.5 minutes, the Leicester Riders are on the board. Alan Aikens with the mismatch down low. This is part of his game. Like to work in the post. Pulliam with the hot start, and Rob Paternostro calls for time as the Newcastle Eagles straight out the gate.
I mean, this is very similar to the start that the Eagles had on Monday night. They're getting it done on defense. They're rotating, and on offense, they're making their opponents pay time and time again.
And when we saw them a week and a half ago against Manchester, when they took that 31-point loss, you could see the lack of legs. You could see the travel was having an effect. But now you can see they're re-energized after spending more time here in England.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Their focus just got turned to what was at stake here. As you see here, Joshua Hibbert coming up with the loose ball and finish. And yeah, all their attention now is just on getting stops and climbing that table for the playoff picture.
Eagles getting it done on both sides of the ball, using their defense to create offense. And Trey Pulliam, we talked about it last week. Really high percentage from beyond the arc. Doesn't take a lot. Probably should take more.
Yeah, I mean, as of lately, though, he has increased his three-point shot selection and as well as his percentage, and has decided to take those shots. But you got to give credit to the Eagles offense. They are hunting mismatches. And specifically, Mr. Hunter was on the wrong end of that one.
Well, Newcastle Eagles out the gate, 10-point lead, 6:59 remaining here in the first quarter. Leicester Riders are in the midst of a heavy schedule themselves, just playing Wednesday night at the nation capital. Have to make the long trip to Newcastle and then return to the Midlands on Sunday. So a lot of teams in the SLB putting a lot of miles on the coach. Hunter beating the pressure by himself, getting to his floater. That rims out. Here's Thompson, count the bucket.
And good initial defense by the Eagles, but Charles Thompson is somebody you have to put a body on because he is going to crash the glass relentlessly time and time again.
Well, Charles Thompson, you talked about his defense earlier, naming him Defensive Player of the Year, but he's proved as well he can score down inside in the paint.
Definitely. He's somebody that plays with high energy the entire course of a basketball game, is what you love to see as a teammate and as somebody that you coach.
Well, Newcastle Eagles 12, Charles Thompson 5.
I like that. I like that.
Here's Akaru, nice pass.
Great vision there by Michael Karu.
Hunter. Over to Johnson. Going back to the well. Thompson with all Riders 5 points. Looking to work Alan Aikens. Goes with the right hook. Here's Ward Hibbert. In attack mode. Flips it up. Count it.
And there's a trend that's starting right now here, Drew. Defense is leading to offense again, stop after stop, and they're only allowing one shot opportunity, no offensive rebounds.
And here it is right there. Our guy in the Star Watch, we talked about it. He can do a lot of things, but he definitely can do that.
That's where he's comfortable at, Drew, knocking down three-point shots. Great setup there by Jalen Hunter.
Here's Eagles. Allen Ikens with the step-back jumper. And Riders what feels like their first stop of the day.
Yeah, and they got Thompson sealing inside, but a careless turnover by
And again,
the Riders.
Riders' third turnover tonight. Take another look at this. This guy gets his feet set, and a great job by Hunter kind of getting inside the paint, drawing those defenders, and Abercrombie doing the rest.
We have a substitution, Ethan Wright checking in for the Riders.
A guy with sneaky athleticism.
Very sneaky, but I'm sure he's on the scout report for being an athletic individual now.
Smart play by Cole Long. Patience there inside. Eagles lead back up to 10. This time we have a foul on Cole Long. And let's look at things from the Leicester Riders' perspective as we see Paternostro there. What's urgent for them to get back in this ball game?
I think just getting stops. The Eagles again are hunting mismatches and finding the easiest possible pass and score on offense, and then the Riders are not able to play in transition and knock down those threes like they are accustomed to doing.
Newcastle comes in with Christian James, another guy on the Eagles roster that can cause mismatch problems. Thompson getting inside, fades away.
That's a tough shot by there by Mr. Spencer Johnson. But can the Riders get a stop here? They've been trading baskets.
Well, Allen Ikens looking to keep this party going. Eagles on a 3-game winning streak. Cole Long with the step back, yes.
And that's a tough shot as a response by Cole Long getting to his signature step back knockdown three.
Hunter taking a contact, and that's one thing that the rookie can do.
Yeah, Jalen Hunter is a very skillful and talented point guard in this league. Leads the league in assists, as you were referring to earlier.
And one thing you've seen from him over the course of the season is he's gotten more and more comfortable being that vocal leader for the Riders. As Money Mike talk about leadership, constantly, night after night, doing it by example.
Yeah, he shows up every night, ready to play and perform.
Hunter taking a contact and count the bucket.
And I think the Eagles got to be a little bit smarter there. Jalen Hunter obviously is a left-handed guard that likes to get downhill.
Well, specifically, making sure they adhere to the scouting report. That's 2 possessions in a row. We see Hunter, who likes to get to that left hand, get to his favorite spot. And if he gets in there, you can pretty much chalk it up as 2 points.
That is very true.
Jalen Hunter, part of a crop here in the SLB of talented point guards. You look around the league, they're plentiful.
They really are. And they're all very similar, but all have their own style and very uniqueness about them.
I'm not going to ask you who your favorite one is. I'll let you off the hook.
I have a few. I can give you 3.
Well, here's Pulliam.
The one with the ball in his hand right now
is shake and bake. Nice rebound. Defoe, he turns it over. Here comes the Riders. Duke Shelton, former Newcastle Eagles.
Ooh, nice.
He knows that part
there.
of the floor very well.
That's a good shot there by Duke Shelton.
And speaking of players that's informed, Duke Shelton over the past month has really taken his game to another level.
Yeah, somebody that's very familiar with the league. A good friend of mine, also plays very hard night in, night out, and a good member of the Riders staff.
Well, there's a matchup that we saw in practice about 2 years ago, Defoe and Duke Shelton, and this time is Ethan Wright. And we'll stay here.
And Coach Rob really pleading with the refs there for a foul.
Duke Shelton suited up for the Newcastle Eagles. We called him the Energizer Bunny, the guy that was always going to lift the roof, get the crowd into the game.
He is. He puts on the show every single time he steps on that floor. So much passion about him.
Here he is. Drops it off to Johnson, who comes up short.
And another good stop here for the Eagles as Trey Pulliam walks it down.
Defoe with his midi. Too much. Ward Hibbert trying to keep things alive. Riders looking to eat into this Eagles lead. Not this time, but ball just slipping out of James's hands, so we'll stay here. And you can see the Riders are starting to feel themselves into this game now.
Yeah, they're starting on the defensive end. They're getting stops now, which is allowing them to play in spaces and transition, which is when they're at their best.
And Hunter continues, and Mark Studel can feel the momentum shift, and he will call for time.
Yeah, it's very smart timeout by Mark Studel. Just wanted to stop a little bit of this momentum that the Riders are starting to build on and get his troops back on the right accord.
Well, Jalen Hunter on a mini run of his own. Only 34% from downtown, but plays like these are from the layups that you get when you're a non-shooter.
That is very true. This a great out-of-bounds set there. Good recognition from Abercrombie to swing that to to Ethan, and Ethan over to Hunter for the three. And just like that, the Riders are back in this ball game.
And if I know Mark Studel the way I know him, he'll be pointing out to Christian James in that film session about not putting a hand up, even if it's a late challenge.
Yeah, also not securing that rebound down there. Just multiple opportunities for the Riders that the Eagles should not want them to have. I'd be remiss if I didn't say I see a very important Eagle legend in the house tonight.
Well, I wasn't going to say nothing. He's a guy that wants to stay incognito. Fabulous Flournoy in the house. Philadelphia 76er assistant coach. Next to our guy, Dave Forrester.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, Dave.
And look at Dave even decided to get dressed up today.
Man, he must have known. He must have known. As we see the Eagles come out.
Here's Pulliam. Here's Pulliam. We know what's coming when he gets to that spot. Nice rebound there from the Riders. 4-point lead from the Eagles. It's been the Hunter show the last couple of possessions. Abercrombie with the mismatch down low on the smaller Pulliam. Pulliam goes down easy, and he gets the offensive call.
Yeah, it's very savvy there by Trey Pulliam. Abercrombie has to know that that's coming. Just a little bit too eager to get to that basket.
It was just right there, putting down that left shoulder. And a great job defensively, just of being able to set his feet.
Yeah, he pulled the chair out a little bit.
Well, speaking of Fab Floor, look at him, my former head coach right there, doing well for himself in the NBA. One of the greatest coaches we have seen here.
Got a bit of a delay here. Little shot clock delay.
Well, here's Eagles as we enter the last minute 30 here in the quarter. Here's James from the corner who rattles it in.
It's a big shot there by Christian James to keep that lead extended to 7.
Jalen Hunter over to Brooks, who doesn't see a lot of time usually, turns it over right away. Michael Carew on the break, gets stripped by Wright. Great defense.
Great defense there by Wright, not giving up on the play, getting back. That's something that we're used to seeing Mighty Mike do on defense, but got a little taste of his own medicine there.
You gotta love those plays if you're Leicester Riders fans, not giving up there in transition, and those are the type of plays when we talk about playoffs that's required if you're gonna be the team lifting the trophy at the end of the season.
Very true.
James carves out the defense.
And Drew, he's somebody that's as of late has caught fire himself. He's become one of the biggest go-to guys for this team in the losses and absence of Seneca Knight. He stepped up tremendously.
Ethan Wright, nice little dump off to Shelton. Over the top of Neighbor. Gets his own rebound, but gets fouled on the second attempt.
Yeah, good initial defense there by Will Neighbor. Just got to finish with the board, but Duke Shelton being relentless on that offensive side of the ball, getting his own rebound there.
Duke Shelton, Will Neighbor getting an opportunity. Hasn't seen a lot this season, but like we talked about so many times, you never know when you get it, but when you do, you got to pounce on it.
Yeah, I think Coach Studel has seen something within these few matchups with the Riders this year. This is a matchup that we saw play out last time in Leicester. And he throws Will Neighbor on Duke very, very, very often. So it must be a matchup decision.
Well, then also with the Eagles wrapping up 10 games in 23 days, it is about that rest as Akaru tries to rise over the heavily contested right. Here's Brooks. Shelton attacking the rim strong. Duke Shelton.
That's a good move there. Way to be aggressive, a quick rip through and go from Duke Shelton.
Mike Akaru will hold his final 7 seconds. Eagles with the 5-point lead. Gets down to his right hand, a little roly-poly. Wow! Money Mike showing a little flash there as we wrap up the first quarter in Virtue Motors Arena. And after 10 minutes, it's the Eagles with the 7-point lead.
I mean, I'm speechless. The strength it takes to do a move like that and actually finish it is unprecedented. Wow, what a move. Great first quarter of action here from Virtue Motors Arena.
Well, for Newcastle, last week was about the defense in the first quarter. Today, it's about the offense, looking at those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, and it's come to life as well. Monday was another good offensive performance from the Eagles. They shot over 50% from the floor, and today they're doing just the same. They're letting the ball move, they're sharing the ball well, and the assists are piling up quickly for the Eagles.
And for the Leicester Riders, the stat that isn't on the graphic, a team that's usually really safe with the ball, 5 turnovers in that first quarter, very uncharacteristic from a Rob Paternoster team.
Yeah, I think it's just not even nerves, just a bit frantic from the Riders. And I think they settled down late in that first quarter, which is a good sight to see. As long as those numbers don't increase over the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes in this next quarter, then I'm sure Rob will be all right with 5 at the half.
Let's take a look at our highlights there from the first quarter, and the takeaway, you can tell that this game here means something to both teams. The Leicester Riders looking to secure that second spot with the win, and then for Newcastle, we talked about it, they can still fall all the way down to 7th if I'm not mistaken, but they can crawl as high as 4th.
Yeah, and I think, again, like I said earlier, it's more about just for the Eagles just continuing their form that they're in and playing good basketball. They're on a 3-game win streak, and they would love to take a 4- or 5-game win streak into the playoffs. It just oozes confidence as they start that first round opening game.
Money Mike putting the finishing touches on that first quarter. 8 points out the gate. And if you're a Newcastle Eagles fans who watch this team regularly, you say, how does this team win 3 games in a row when you lose your second best scorer in Seneca Knight?
I mean, it speaks to the depth of this team and also the mentality. The next man up mentality has been very good for this organization throughout the course of this season, and they continue to show that.
Well, here's Ward Hibbert trying his luck from the top of the key. He says, everybody else hitting, why not me?
I mean, he's somebody, I talked about Christian James, Josh Ward Hibbert, as in last Friday, this Monday, he's been a big reason why the Eagles have played so well. You have to give him credit.
Here's Wright. Running out of space, great extra pass from the Riders. Brooks laces it up and it rattles in there.
Hey, great offense there by the Riders. Moving the ball very, very fluently, very quickly.
That's got to be great for Jerron Brooks' confidence to see that first 3 ball fall. But more importantly, bringing that Eagles lead down to 7. Ward Hibbert down inside the Will Neighbor. Loves this little fadeaway here over the top. Great defense there by Nduku.
Yeah, great defense there.
And Johnson slithering through the defense.
See, that's what the Riders are made of right there, getting stops and playing in transition. They're talking now, they're switching screens.
Well, Carl over Brooks as he points to Deshaun Allen-Ikens.
And Brooks just put his hands up like, what am I supposed to do there? There's not much you can do, Mr. Brooks.
Look like Micah Carru's trying to make a case for the MVP as we get closer to those end-of-season awards. Here's Johnson.
And the defense the Eagles are playing right now is very well off. But great offensive rebound by Duke Shelton.
Stolen by James. Eagles harassing Shelton on that last play, and James getting to his shake and bake. And the floodgates have been open here in Virtue Motors Arena.
Hey, man, he's somebody that is a big shot taker and a big shot maker as well. It's a few of them on this team.
And Johnson answers back and count the bucket.
Wow, we are in the treat. We're having a treat right now. It's a three-point fest right now.
Wow. Let's take another look at this one from Johnson. Great job there coming off that DHO, and Ward Hibbert just closing in a little too close on that closeout.
Yeah, careless foul there by Josh Ward Hibbert, and that it will be his second foul, so not sure if we'll see him for the remainder. Oh, he's still on the floor right now currently. But that is his second foul.
Well, Johnson unable to take advantage of the 4-point opportunity there, and will hold things at 8 as both teams really lighten it up and come to light offensively. Here's Defoe. Great strip there by Johnson. 2-on-1 opportunity, takes the contact, finishes through Defoe. Great move.
It's a great defensive stop there by Mr. Johnson. He's having himself a good half here in the early stages of this ball game.
Spencer Johnson with 5 consecutive points for the Riders. James gives a jab, little hezzo. Says he was hit on the hand. No time on the clock. Ward Hibbert heaves it up. And we'll have a shot. We'll play on, actually.
Wow.
Here's Johnson.
I don't think the refs saw what went on there, but Josh Ward Hibbert making up for it.
Spinning around, he loses it. Tries his luck again. Allen-Ikens drops it back off to Ward Hibbert. And exactly how the Eagles drew it up.
I mean, wow, that was just a spurry of different type of actions. 1 minute they don't have the ball, next minute they do. End of the story, Eagles come away with 2 points.
I almost wanted to put that music on it. Dun, 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 as in Nduku again. Only 3 points of the season and got an opportunity to exceed that in one play here.
Hey, he's somebody that is ready for the moment. He's been ready for the moment.
Well, we talked about the playoffs looming, Ron. Both teams, even with their injury issues, no Zach Jackson didn't make the trip. Wow. And both teams really lighting it up.
Yeah, even with the absence of Zach Jackson, the Riders are playing fantastic basketball right now, knocking down shots. They're settling into this game nice, but the Eagles have control and have control from the tip.
Well, that was actually a foul off the ball, hence why the Riders were able to take it out. They were rewarded with the basket there from Nduku. But then again, the Leicester Riders with an opportunity for 5 on here.
Yeah, we have Duke Shelton going to the free throw line for 2 shots. Oh, and what did you see there, Drew?
I just seen a grown man making a grown man play down there.
Oh, yeah, it's a good way to put that one.
Well, Duke Shelton makes his return to the free throw line. 72% of the season. Really has found a home there in the Midlands with Leicester.
And I know Duke loves coming back home to his second home in Newcastle and playing in front of these fans as he goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
And Leicester Riders, as you mentioned, the traveling fans there as well, making a trip. Got a chance to talk with them earlier. They never miss a game here, just doing a great job of just hanging around as James takes the contact on the young fella.
Yeah, that's just another grown man move there. Christian James making Victor Ndoku pay for that mismatch.
Well, Ndoku has a great frame for his age, but when it comes to James, he has a couple of years on him.
Yeah, I mean, Christian James is just a pro's pro. He knows how to draw contact and how to draw those fouls.
And you see just the shoulders there. We talk about the mismatch problems he causes because he can do that, what we just saw inside, but he also has the ability to play beyond the perimeter. Mark Studel looking for his team to get a stop on this play here. Ethan Wright takes the contact, finishes with the left hand. Nice move.
And that's just a good offensive possession there by the Riders. He had the flare screen set by Brooks as Mr. Wright comes off of it and just attacks immediately, putting pressure on the rim.
Speaking of pressure of the rim, Pulliam tries to do the same, nearly turns it over, but we'll stay here. Fresh bodies for the Riders as Thompson and Abercrombie returns.
Yeah, no real foul trouble for the Riders right now. They're playing.
Alan Aikens with 7 on the clock. Over the long, we talked about his favorite spot, but opposite of his last name as he was short on that attempt. Right, inside the Thompson.
And the Eagles are doing a good job of running Abercrombie off that line, making him play within the mid-range.
Eagles get their stop, 44-40, 5 minutes remaining here as 15 minutes eclipse, and Alan Aikens unable to get it to drop. Hunter again getting down to his left hand, doing a great job of stopping on a dime.
Yeah, the Eagles have to do a better job if they want to win this game of containing Hunter. Great move by him getting downhill.
Riders close within 2. Pulliam again getting inside, leads long in the corner. Count it up.
And a lot of these assists are coming from Trey Pulliam being able to attack as freely as he is.
Hunter back inside the Thompson, attacking Akaru, sees a double. Nice cut from Hunter, passes it to Ndoku, dribbles out.
And that's a good offensive possession by the Riders. Hunter made the correct pass to Victor.
And a beautiful spin by Christian James.
That man is on a mission right now. He's been in a different zone these past 3 or 4 games, and you can tell.
Crowd letting them hear it as they chant Eagles. And I mean, I'm speaking from the perspective of both teams as you see this beautiful move right here, spinning to the left hand. Ron, these teams are hooping.
I mean, they really are. They're showing a high level of skill. And it's not like either team is trying to not play defense. They're both guarding with their life as their life depends on it. But offense, good offense always beat good defense.
Well, we've seen an offensive influx here. Take a look at your leading scorer for the night.
Wow.
We nearly got 6 guys in double figures already. But then look at the shooting percentages there.
Yeah. Again, Christian James has been on another level. Mike Akaru as well. We look at this top of this chart with the Eagles and we see 83, 57, and 80, and 57 looks bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And 50.
Oh! Well, we talked about the offense in Virtue Motors Arena. A fan has just hit a half-court shot, and he will rack up a grand.
No,
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Wow. It actually happened.
We've been waiting all season for it. No one has been able to even touch the rim. And we got somebody that's sunk it nothing but the bottom of the net. Give him a dance, young fella. You deserve that moment. Look at the walk.
I don't think he. I don't think he wants to leave the court. Oh yeah.
Oh, crip walk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do after this game? I'm gonna ask him if I can borrow a few dollars.
I am in shock right now.
Well, let's get back to the action here.
I'm sure he's ready to collect, by the way, but we're back to the action.
I mean, that is just a reflection of the offense that we're seeing from both teams here.
Exactly.
So fitting.
Exactly. I would want to claim my prize right away. I wouldn't be having a seat. I wouldn't even sit down.
Cash, no checks. Just to make sure. Well, here's the Riders. Got to get it across. Hunter does. Final 3:45 here in the second quarter. As Thompson scoops up the rebound. Abercrombie getting into a tussle with Defoe, and talk about grown man strength.
Yeah, he just sat Riley Abercrombie right on his butt, but it's all right. The effort is there from both teams. Offensive rebound are currently killing the Eagles. They have to put a body on Thompson and keep him off the glass.
Great effort there, and look at that little tussle. I mean, that's what you call a man with children. You just all of a sudden you get stronger.
That is true. I've heard that. I've heard that. My father's told me that in the past.
49-42 here in Virtue. Newcastle as Hunter, the leading assist man.
And good effort there by the Eagles to close out late, but it doesn't matter.
Big time shot by Spencer Johnson.
Man, between Spencer Johnson and Riley Abercrombie, they are shooting lights out.
Lead down to 4. Pulliam shakes, gets to the bucket with the left hand, and that'll be an offensive goaltending there. And you spoke of the confidence of Pulliam earlier. You could just see it on that move right there.
Again, it's high-level basketball being played right now on the offensive end for both teams. They're making tough moves, tough shots repeatedly.
There's a trap by Newcastle, but instead the foul will be on Pulliam. Pulliam.
Just Trey Pulliam's first foul, though. So no real cause for concern yet. Just don't want to pick up another one too quickly as we're on 2:58 here left in the second quarter.
Well, we got a little spillage here on the floor as we got a floor man getting things cleaned up for us. And we'll get back to the action. Rob Paternostro and Mark Studel. Two coaches who already have championships in the bag. One, Rob Paternostro, 17, I believe, but I need to double check on that.
Wow, that's a great achievement.
Abercrombie bounces away. James.
And the Eagles dodged a serious bullet there because that shot looked just as good as Spencer Johnson's last one that went in.
Pulliam matched up with Thompson. They'll go into Defoe, who has Hunter matched up. Great switch there by the Riders defense. Defoe blocked by Thompson, but the foul is called.
And the issue there is Thompson fouled him initially, and that wasn't called, but that is home court advantage for you at its finest because the fans let the refs know, which ultimately got them to call that one.
If I'm calling anything, it's the right hand getting in the cookie jar, but if it's the outstretched hand, that looked clean to me.
Very much so.
You see Thompson pleading his case there.
But again, no real foul trouble there for the Riders. Only one foul for most of their team.
Yeah, this game has flowed beautifully in the first quarter, and Defoe unable to make the first. 28 titles in his 21st season. Doing it in front of his former coach, watching their sideline. As Hunter taps it over to Johnson, who goes 2 for 2 from that same spot.
Yeah, Spencer Johnson's having himself a day, you know. He's already up to 15 points and a half, and everything seems to be coming to him so nice and easy. But another mismatch hunt for the Eagles.
Pulliam with a great pump fake, and this time the foul is called on Hunter, just his first. Again, you mentioned about the great defense from Leicester, and all season long they've done a great job of defending without fouling. And you talk about Spencer Johnson, he's in his bag right now, 15 first half points.
Yeah, none of it's been forced. It's all been through the flow of the offense. He's knocking down shots consistently. This is definitely going to be a point of emphasis on Coach Stoodle's scout report at the half, I'm sure.
Here's Newcastle. Spencer on the defensive end, drops it off to Defoe. Beautiful pass, and that might have been tipped by Thompson. This time it's blocked by Thompson from behind. Great defense.
Yeah, Charles Thompson is a great defender, and his timing is lovely.
And here he is, snatching the ball away. Abercrombie picks up the loose change, and the Leicester Riders are within 2.
Yeah, the Eagles fans would like a foul there, but we would like to see Cole Long be a little bit more physical with that basketball right there. Can't look for every single call.
Newcastle aggressive early. Now it's the Leicester Riders' turn. Pulliam was looking for Defoe to roll there. Decided to stop short.
It's a good idea there by Trey Pulliam, though.
Well, we enter the final minute in a duel against 2 teams that's had many over the years. Riders looking to get their first lead of the night, just too strong. Pulling back down inside to Cole Long. Hunter. Here's Thompson. Pulling with 6 on the clock, down to the left hand.
Would like to see Cole Long just shoot that first
And it's
one.
blocked by Ethan Wright.
Just shoot the first one.
You talked about the Riders getting stopped. They've cranked things up a notch here in the second quarter.
Final possession of the half. Oh,
Hunter nearly gets it stolen. Free throw line. Easiest shot of the night. Thompson tries to rock it home. Allen Ikens, he's blocked by Ethan Wright. And that's how we will end the first half, with 3 bodies on the floor and 102 points on the board.
and a half-court shot that
And a
went in.
half-court shot.
It's been a crazy, crazy first half here in Virtue.
Wow.
But a lot of high-intensity play between both of these two teams.
Well, that has led us here, 52-50, the Newcastle Eagles with the 2-point lead, as both teams will go to the locker room and get re-energized as we focus and dial in on that first half. Ron, what's jumped out to you?
I mean, Newcastle threw the first punch, but boy, did Leicester respond, and they responded ferociously. Their intensity on defense has picked up, and the shot making again has been at a high for both teams. Both teams have eclipsed 50 points already in this early parts of this half of this game. But the team that plays defense and gets the most stops, it seems though, will win this game in the end.
Well, let's see what the stats say there. The percentage is still high, specifically the three-point.
Yeah, both teams are shooting very high from three-point territory, but the Riders have caught up in the assist category and have taken that lead.
They also lead the rebounding as well by 5, and as we transition over from the first half highlights, and I'll tell you right now, there'll be a lot of threes going in and a lot of strong finishes at the rim.
Very true. I mean, obviously, Leicester only shot 6% from 3 on Wednesday night against London. They went 1 for 17 from 3. So to come back tonight and respond, we had no doubt that it would be a better shooting performance for them on this occasion this evening.
Well, the Leicester Riders offense has really stepped up here tonight. You're seeing Dooku getting in on the party as well. Great moment for him, but then pulling the strings for Newcastle.
Yeah, Trey Pulling is doing what he does best, but the man of the half for the Eagles for me, it has to be Christian James. He's played so well these last few games, and he's making his presence known night in and night out by just hunting those mismatches and just making the right play. He's just an ultimate playmaker for this Eagles team.
Well, for the Riders, it was that man right there, Spencer Johnson, 15 points in the first half. As we take you to our halftime show, which features the coaches, Mark Studel, Rob Paternostro, and also the plays of the week.
A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Basketball is the second most played sport by young people in the UK. And this is a great opportunity for us to engage the younger generation in being more sustainable, recycling more, and ultimately reducing waste and protecting the environment.
Away in the trash can and throwing this away in the trash can, you're doing it in the right place. You're composting, you're recycling, you're reducing, reusing. And it's just super important to learn that from a young age because you carry that into your adult life.
I majored in marine science and I minored in sustainability. So it's actually really exciting to see us partner with a company who is really invested in sustainability.
I think it's fantastic. BIFA is such a quality name in the waste and sustainability sector. We're a quality name in our sector. They're very much about community. We're very much about community. So I think it's going to be a great partnership.
I want to be competing in finals and competing for championships, and I think that's what this club is about, that's what this team is about. The league this year is super exciting. You know, there's parity across every one of the 9 teams, and every team is, you know, really raising the profile of the league. But for me, it's consistently about trying to get to finals, trying to win championships. I'm an ambitious person, and I feel like I put the work in. You know, I feel like my work ethic matches my ambition, and really proud to say that. And I know that I've had some, you know, really fortunate development opportunities, but I've also worked exceptionally hard to get those development opportunities. And I wanted to be successful at each milestone. For sure, I wanted to be coaching in the SLB, and, you know, coaching the highest level in the British game. And you know, 3 years in, I'm really excited. You know, I'm really hungry. I've got, you know, passion to kind of hopefully help our club, you know, get to where we want to. And you know, alongside that, I've had a really long and committed journey with coaching national teams, you know, from England under-15s and being like a third assistant to, you know, being fortunate to lead my country at senior men's level. So yeah, I don't think my journey's finished, and I feel like I'm still on that path, and I've got a long way to go. But yeah, I'm really excited about, you know, what the future looks like, and yeah, I'm proud of the work that I've put in to get to this point. You know, the city is my home from home, you know. The city is full of hard-working people. The city is full of probably hope, aspiration, ambition, and I think they're attributes that I try and live and breathe on a daily basis. The city is full of tough people, some tough Geordies. I think the city, you know, is diverse, and I think that's important in our game. You know, we're sat here in the best arena in the UK, and our fans do an incredible job of filling this place out and making an atmosphere. So the city, for me, it really is everything. It's my home now. You know, I've stopped saying the term my adopted home. You know, it is my home, although I'm not from Newcastle. I very much feel like it's part of my DNA and it's part of my roots, and yeah, I hope we have a long success here.
Warning there on Effigy as Alan Aikens able to finish things off to Bose. Takes the contact, hangs, and Effigy cleans up the mess at the buzzer.
Wow, they brought that one out.
There's a steal. quickly give it back to Tyler Peterson. And Peterson this time throws it down with 2 hands.
Reward the good defense, you know? Getting out there, forcing the steal. And he's doing it on both ends of the floor, as you can see.
Jane Dallaire shuts it down.
Rejected by Lewis. Swats it into the stands almost there.
Kendall Lewis is one of the most athletic players that I've seen in a long time.
He got high up in the air. Inside, throws it down, takes the contact.
Tell us how you really feel, big fella. Throw it down with the contact. Wow.
And Caledonia shifting back into that zone defense. Oh, it's stolen by Lewis. And Lewis with the spin. And Lewis with the flush. And Bristol Flyers a quick 5-0 run. Capped off by a Kendall Lewis jam. Kendall Lewis comes away with the steal, the spin, and the finish.
Shot clock under 10. Whelan into Barnes. Barnes brilliant. Fagbenley pops it home.
And there we go. Toto Fagbenley making it count.
Groves looks. He's got loads of open space. Why not go for the dunk?
Hello, Jacob Groves is in the building, finishing high above the rim.
Oh, that was an easy steal, Spielman. That's how you show off on a Sunday afternoon.
And there we go. That's how to get back into the game. Boy has bounce.
Lobbed up to Shelton, who absolutely hammers it down.
Unbelievable. From the out of bounds as well. Just sort of plucked it out of the air and threw it down.
No, I couldn't have envisioned 500 wins. That's when you start to look at how many games you play in a season. That seems like a long, long time. I didn't really know how long I'd be in this coaching journey. My family certainly has played a big part of it. You know, my wife Sarah and the family have, you know, been wonderful for me. I think anytime you are involved in such a pressure-packed situation, you have to give it everything you have, and to have that support at home has been amazing. So, yeah, we'll see what the future holds. But I didn't, you know, get in this job to think about 500 wins. I was trying to, you know, get Leicester to be a tough team that no one wanted to play. The first year that I did it, I didn't want to give up the teaching job that I had. I had a teaching job at Holly Lodge High School in right outside of Birmingham in Smethwick, and I did both for the first season because I was unsure of where this would take me. It was never really a huge goal for me to be a head basketball coach. I knew that you know, the potential was there, but it was never something that I had really strived for. So I really wanted to make it work, and I wanted to be safe enough to keep the job that I had. So that first season was extremely hectic to have a teaching job in Birmingham and coming up at night to practice in Leicester with the Leicester Riders. I enjoy being on a team. I think you know, it's my favorite part of coaching is that I get to come in every day and I'm on a team. Ever since I was, you know, 7 years old, I had played sports and I was always on a team every season. So it's just part of my DNA. I've always tried to be a player's coach. I've always tried to be someone that understands what players are going through on and off the court. And I think it's valuable to be able to be there for your players, not just between the lines, to be there for them whenever they need something. You know, I don't look back too much and say, okay, well, I've done this already. One day, we've got to keep going. Everything moves so fast. I don't like to look too far ahead, but I do like to say, hey, let's go, next game, next play. You know, whatever we've done in the past, whether we're winning 9 games in a row or we're on a losing streak or whatever, let's go next day and let's get it rolling.
Where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Welcome back to Virtue Motors Arena. 52-50, the Newcastle Eagles lead. Only the 3rd time this season that both teams have scored over 50 points, and we talked about the jam-packed action this weekend. Look across town there. The Sheffield Sharks down 38-47. I'm sure the Riders would have peeped that in the locker room. Also over in Bristol, Cheshire Phoenix with a 3-point lead over the Flyers. That doesn't help the Newcastle Eagles at all. A lot of permutations still to be determined. But let's focus here. Newcastle, Leicester, always been a rival, and it still carry-ons to this day. As we see Darius Defoe, who's been featured in a lot of these matchups, against the young fella, the rookie, Charles Thompson, and these two have been battling here tonight, Ron.
Yeah, a big battle between these two has taken place. Obviously, Darius Defoe getting the better of him right here as the foul gets called on Thompson here early, but even if we see there, the swipe down is probably what drew that foul there. But a great effort by Thompson as he gets the block there. He just alters shots, his energy, his athleticism, everything around the rim.
Both big fellas going back at it. We're going back in time. The big man saying, don't leave us out of this. I know there's a lot of threes in this game, and then
he just does all the little things for that group. He's the Energizer Bunny when Duke Shelton's not on the floor. So they have two.
Well, you see Defoe right there. He's already trying. Is it a headache he's working out? Is he working out?
I think he's
elbow to the head.
Or is it a Musa? I know what I'm facing in this second half. He's calm. He's cool. He's collected. He's probably feeling a little sore, but hey, that's Mr. 28 for you.
Well, in the first half for the Riders, it was the Spencer Johnson show. 15 points in that first half. Has only have clipped that once all season, 20 early in the year, ironically in January against the Newcastle Eagles.
Wow, so this is a favorable matchup there for Mr. Spencer Johnson. As Cole Long starts his half with a missed 3.
Well, Akaru and Dooku getting tied up there.
Victor's playing real meaningful minutes right here, obviously showing that he belongs on this floor right now. Not shying away from the challenge at all.
And these are moments that's hard to replicate in practice. Here's Hunter, again, determined to get down to his left. Spins around, is blocked by Allen Ikens, but the determination continues, but he comes up short.
Yeah, good fight there by Josh Ward-Hibbert to get around Thompson. That's no easy task at all. I'd like to see Deshaun Allen Ikens get involved in this game a little bit more. He's been kind of kept quiet.
Well, he's the only one that hasn't really joined the show. 2 points from Allen Ikens. But he's a guy that's usually a closer, seeks out matchups.
Yeah, he's a gamer for sure. Makes big plays down the stretch.
Well, he must have heard you, Ron.
Sending my love, sending my heart.
So it's not only a commentator's curse, there's a commentator uplifting.
Yeah, I'll send that to him right there. He deserves it. Great shot there by Deshaun Allen-Ikens to get the Eagles on the board in this half.
Eagles lead by 4. Here's Nduku, who we talked about all night. Play waved away as there's an offensive foul call on the screen on Thompson.
Wow, wow, wow. That's a big-time play there, calling that basket off.
Let's take another look here. And yes, that is, you're illegally not able to carve out, screen out your man on a drive. I learned that while playing the hard way.
Were you pretty good at it?
I mean, I just thought that I can keep screening whenever I wanted to. Apparently not. Here's a Karu who looked like he made the sneakers switch there in the second half. Dances, drops it off to Ward Hibbert.
And it just amazes me how Thompson can go from guarding Micah Karu to flying out and contesting Josh Ward Hibbert's shot. I mean, his energy level and effort as he continues to battle on the offensive end is there.
There's Eagles with a 3-on-1 opportunity. Nice drop-off pass to Long, who blows the layup, but this time he's fouled by Thompson, and that'll be his second.
No, that'll be Thompson's third. That'll be Thompson's third, because Thompson just picked up that offensive foul, that clear out.
That is correct. My stats here are a little bit behind. That is correct.
That is his third. That is a big foul right there. But great defense there initially by Victor Ndoku. But Cole Long.
5 points there from Thompson, but that doesn't tell the full story of his impact tonight.
Yeah, he impacts the game in so many different ways. And he will be missed on the floor, I'm sure, by the Riders. But for now, Cole Long knocks down the first free throw.
Well, how does that change the perspective for Newcastle, specifically the paint, now that Thompson is on the bench?
I mean, he is the shot blocker for this team. Duke can do the same, but not to the degree in which Thompson can. So I'm sure the aggressiveness level for the Eagles might perk up a bit. And just the hunting of the mismatches will continue for the Eagles.
So far, the Eagles lead this quarter 4-0. Hunter over the outstretched hand of Allen-Ikens.
That's a big shot there by Jalen Hunter. I think the Eagles can sharpen up a little bit on defense. I saw them kind of go to help. Good move there by Trey Pulliam. Oh, he smoked the layup.
Here's Leicester. Nduku, who was named Team of the Year in British, Team of the Year in NBL 1. Getting some action here in the SLB tonight. And Abercrombie will head to the line for 2.
Yeah, and some of the rest of the Riders staff, which is on the bench, got to give credit where credit is due. And shout out to Coach Will Maynard as well. While he's right there, he's the Coach of the Year for the NBL 1 this year. Very well deserving of that award. He earned it. And also Edward Onwa. Did I say that correctly?
Onwa, you did.
Onwa. He is the under-19 Player of the Year for the NBL 1 this year. So a lot of recognition going to the Riders organization there, not just Leicester, but Loughborough as well.
A team who has 5 rookies, and for most of the year has plenty of guys who have played and started in every game as Cole Long rises up.
Lost his legs a little bit, but no matter what, he got that bucket. Good pass there, good set there by the Eagles.
Hunter. Over to Nduku. Nice spin by the young fella, gets tripped up.
And I've seen that I play countless times. He's very good at creating contact and drawing the fouls. Great move. I think he caught Micah Karu. There, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't think he was going to be that aggressive.
Just got his hand in there. And that's a battle we might need to keep an eye on. Karu versus Nduku. Who would have thought that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, Victor Nduku he's ready for the moment once again. He goes against the likes of Zach Jackson and Jalen Hunter and these guys all year round, so.
Micah Karu takes a seat with 11 points. And a little bit of a foul trouble there.
Oh, wow, that put him on 4.
So keep an eye on that. Eagles will be without their star man for the foreseeable future.
As Christian James checks back into this one.
Is Defoe crying, or is he still bothered from that elbow from Thompson?
I don't think he's crying. I hope not.
Here's Pulliam. Nice pass. Allen Ikens walled up, but traveled.
Oh, wow. You can see the footsteps there, but.
There's Defoe still kind of grimacing a little bit. Don't know if it's a headache or, again, both teams thin tonight, so can't afford to lose many more. 6:13 remaining as Duke Shelton looking to get busy in a post. This time he's fouled by Allen Ikens.
I'm curious if that call is on the floor is in an active shooting. Two shots awarded to Duke Shelton. And his aggressiveness is being awarded tonight. He's going right at these Newcastle forwards.
Well, it's been a joy to watch a lot of these players around the league whose confidence has just ballooned over the last couple of weeks, Duke Shelton being one. We talked about the rise of Pulliam.
Yeah, I think these guys are just ready for that playoff atmosphere and environment. And if they've done a good job of getting themselves ready and prepared for that with these last two performances.
Well, both teams, I'm sure they would love to book a ticket to the London O2 Arena. Stolen by Hunter. Johnson on the trail. Beautiful finish. Mark Studel calls for time. Spencer Johnson, 17 points on the night. 3 points away from his SLB career high.
Yeah, and a little bit of slippage there from the Eagles right now. Just lackadaisical since that Michael Caru's fourth foul that he picked up, but Coach Studel called a timeout here, so rally the troops and get a good offensive possession here to close this last 5 minutes out of this third quarter.
And Hunter just lying off in the weeds there, waiting on an opportunity, and then doing what he does best, dropping dimes. Here's your top scorers from the night. Hunter and Johnson with 30. Of the Riders, 60 points here. And the Eagles with 3 guys in double figures.
Yeah, pretty balanced attack from both teams right now. Multiple guys getting involved in the party. And if I believe it or not, this is the Riders' first lead of this ball game.
I believe you are correct. And the way this game has gone, it at times has felt like Newcastle should have been up by more.
Yeah, but I mean, again, the Riders are just hanging around, kind of what the Eagles do on a nightly basis, but they've had to control the lead through this duration of this game and finally lost it, so it's go time for the Eagles.
Well, let's see how they respond here. First real adversity of the evening as James gets introduced. Allen Ikens steps back at the top of the key. Too short. Riders looking to build. Eagles in the bonus, so look for Leicester to try to get downhill. Or work Shelton in a post.
And a good defensive stand there by Cole Long, not bailing Duke Shelton out.
They go inside the Long, but hands to the face, which causes an offensive foul, and the Newcastle Eagles are racking up the fouls.
Yeah, they are. That is already their fourth as a team.
And that's one thing about Hunter. When he sees these mismatches, he does a great job of battling. You see they're fighting to get around, and Cole Long just using that right hand for leverage and just a little bit too high with it.
Yeah, got to be a bit smarter, a bit more tactical. Nevertheless, it's another possession wasted there by the Eagles.
Plenty of foul issues for the Eagles, as that's Cole Long's third. Michael Karu already with 4. Nearly turnover, drops it off to Shelton. And a little glass slapper at the end of it.
Yeah, just to let him know that he's here. He's here, he's ready to party. It's a good pass there by Vic Ndoku, though.
And the Leicester Riders with their biggest lead of the night.
Eagles need to just play with a little bit more pace. Game's kind of slowing down.
And a turnover. Momentum beginning to build for Leicester. Duke Shelton returning back to Newcastle and letting everybody know, hey, I used to do this every Friday night.
Yeah.
Sending the message. 11 points on the evening. Stolen by Ward Hibbert. Takes the contact in some way, somehow able to kind of flip it in with the left hand.
And that might be the momentum that the Eagles needed, as Jalen Hunter is frustrated as he picks up his 3rd foul.
I'm not sure what Hunter was upset about there. Oh, well, he tried to get out the way.
Excuse me, 2nd foul, on Jalen Hunter, 2nd foul.
He's pleading his case that he was trying to get out the way. And Ward Hibbert with 5 steals on the night.
Wow.
Got to be creeping up on a career high, I'm sure.
Very tough to get 5 steals.
Let's see if Dan Rowledge comes to the rescues with that. Meantime,
the Eagles are playing great defense, and they're switching ferociously.
Shelton again with the spin, coming back to the right. And again, this is 2nd layup, but that's going to be an intentional, unsportsmanlike foul on Christian James, as he came up high with the elbow on Abercrombie.
What are your thoughts on that call, Drew?
I mean, in real time, it felt like an easy call to me.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And then you have to add in the strength by Christian James, which will even make it look worse.
Yeah.
So we talked about momentum swings here all night long. This will mean 2 free throws for the Leicester Riders, including the ball. Mark Studel not looking to plead his case, so in agreement with the call.
And one left short there by Mr. Abercrombie.
Well, here's an opportunity for the Leicester Riders again. Keeping things glued in Caledonia, where they have a 3-point lead over the Sheffield Sharks. Sheffield Sharks holding the head-to-head over Leicester. So, and this time, it's Cole Long to the face, and he's immediately to the bench.
I see he's bleeding right now.
Wow. He's immediately to the locker room.
I think his tooth came out.
That might be his tooth right there. Wow.
That's brutal. It's a physical game here in Virtu, but his tooth is definitely out.
Well, I mean, the physicality of both teams we've seen all evening, and we've been talking about the playoffs, and that's what the playoffs consist of. This is the foreshadowing of what's to come in a week's time.
And these are 2 teams that are going to play at a high level. And with playing at a high level comes these type of situations. So a lot of aggression, a lot of passion.
Well, after all of that, it's Leicester Riders ball, 63-60, 3:47 remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
I'm curious, was there a timeout taken, or the refs just having a discussion about if they're going to call this a foul or not?
I'm not exactly sure. Oh, just cleaning up the court, so we'll pause in the meantime.
We'll start the party.
We talked about the momentum. At this pace, who does this favor, Ron?
I think the game has slowed down. I mean, both teams had over 50 points at halftime, which means that they're just above that, just above 10 points in this quarter right now for both clubs. So the game has definitely slowed down, and that favors the Leicester Riders, in my opinion. The Eagles have to get stops and have to get up and down like this, as you see right here by Josh Ward-Hibbert, if they want to have a chance at keeping this game fast-paced and winning this ball game.
Well, Newcastle with 52 points at halftime. Only 8 so far in this quarter, as the Leicester Riders defense has really stepped up here in the second half. And again, that's without their main man, Zach Jackson, who's played and started in every game this season, sitting this one out, resting up the body for Sunday.
Yeah, and let's hope Cole Long is doing well as well right now, because the Eagles become a lot thinner if he's not able to go at the end of this game as well.
Well, let's take a look around the league. Sheffield Sharks in a battle with the Gladiators up in Caledonia, and the Cheshire Phoenix slowly pulling away from the Bristol Flyers. Surrey hosting Manchester Saturday, but how about that slate on Sunday?
Yeah, that's a great slate on Sunday.
8 out of the 9 teams in action.
Tough competition. We got currently number 3 versus number 1, and the Sheffield Sharks versus the London Lions.
Well, the Newcastle Eagles with the win guarantees them 4th or 5th. Manchester trying to make sure they get out of here in 4th place, but let's return back to the action.
We see number 88, Will Neighbor, check into this ball game. Obviously, Darius Defoe is also still banged up for the Eagles.
This game has been incredibly physical all night long, and Alan Aikens, this time he's ripped by Shelton. Hunter looks to slow things down. Johnson tied up. Great defense by James.
That possession the Riders will stay with the basketball.
Well, we'll stay on this end as possessional arrow faces the Riders. And a great step back bucket, which pushes the Riders' lead up to 6.
Big time shot there by Mr. Abercrombie. Good offensive set. Ran there by the Riders.
Leicester Riders 9 for 19 from beyond the arc. Incredibly efficient as Pulliam somehow able to get his own rebound. And that one from Ward-Hibbert spins out.
And if you're Coach Stootle here, you got to ask yourself, he's so good at that. Victor is so good at that. You got to ask yourself, how long do you sit Michael Carey right now? I mean, he's getting cold over there, even sitting with those 4 fouls.
We've seen Mark Stootle roll the dice time after time this season. Nduku getting the start tonight. Only the 3rd different starting lineup for Leicester this season, and really showing his worth with this opportunity.
Yeah, he's definitely ready for that call up whenever it's ready, but for now, he'll keep killing down at NBL 1. We're enjoying that.
Drains both. There's a Karu. You talked about getting cold over there. Keeping the legs warm on the cycle. Eagles desperately needing some offense as things have dried up. Clock down to 5. Ward Hibbert needs to make something happen. Tight ropes the baseline, runs out of space. Pulliam short. Another great stop by the Riders.
Yeah, and this game is getting out of the...
And this time it's a clock issue as the Riders were full of momentum there. Ready to pounce.
Yeah, this game is getting away from the Eagles slowly but surely.
I mean, how about the Riders? Got to give them a lot of credit. Really not panicking early when the Eagles came out with a lot of energy and offense, but kept things ticking over. Tightening up the defense as the game has waned. Nduku steps back from the corner, and here's the young fella, Victor Nduku.
Hey, man, he's having himself a day. Rightfully so, though. He's been ready for the moment.
Wow. And that pushes things up to 11. Advantage Riders. James doing a good job of drawing contact there.
And they've done this all without their best defensive player on the floor right now.
Well, you talked about Nduku all night, getting that start. First of the season, beautiful step back. Have you seen that one before?
I've seen it live in person. I've seen it twice, actually.
9 points. I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing this highlight reel over social media at some point.
Yeah. I mean, he's had himself a day, and he's had himself a year. Very humble, very good person. Enjoy competing against him. Needless to say, this is a big moment, a crucial moment for the Eagles right here. They need to get themselves some points and see something go through the basket as Christian James knocks down the first one. They're only on 11, how many points? 11 points this quarter.
Well, Newcastle with their 9th point of the quarter after opening the game with 30. Still a lot of time on the clock for the Eagles.
Tons and tons of time. But it starts on the defensive end. They got to get some energy about themselves right now.
Well, Studel pulling his ace out of the back pocket as Candy makes his first appearance tonight. Says, let me see what my young fella can do. Here's Wright. We talked about that quick first step. This time too strong. Allen Ikens just a little bit out of control on that possession there.
Yeah, and Deshaun Allen Ikens is having himself a tough day. Just like to see him just hold that ball there. Find the guard.
Yeah, only 4 points on the evening for Allen Ikens. The rookie. Here's Wright. Nduku. Riders being patient. Go down inside to Shelton, who drops the right arm, and easy call from the referee.
That's a big stand there by Josh Ward Hibbert. Way to compete there on the defensive end and get a stop. The Eagles right here, if they can get something going offensively as we take another look.
As soon as you stretch out that right elbow, great job by this time Ward Hibbert holding his ground.
The Eagles desperately need a bucket to go into the fourth quarter with some positive momentum.
Final minute here in the third quarter in Virtue Motors Arena. Here's James carving out the defense and doing a great job of drawing the foul there.
Yeah, and that is the man to go to right now with Money Mike on the bench. He is the answer for this offense as they become a bit stagnant through the course of the latter stages of this quarter.
James, a midseason acquisition, has just been that nice safety blanket for the Eagles when they just need to slow things down, as he does have that ability to post up defenders.
Yeah, he's able to score on all three levels. And it's a luxury for the Eagles to have, especially with certain lineups that they throw out there. Because sometimes you can have a Koru out on the perimeter doing what he does best, and then can flex your muscle by throwing it into Christian James and letting him go to work. As he goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Well, he makes both there. And Eagles with a little mini run, answering your call. Riders back in attack mode, and this Ethan Wright, who goes 60 feet all the way to the cup.
Yeah, that's a tough move.
Not sure where the defense was on that one. But here's Pulliam. Over to Candy in the corner, over in Dooku. And tonight is about the youngest, Ron, as they're really stepping up.
They have come to play. Big time shot there by Sover Candy. Another teammate of mine, and another NBL 1 product.
NBL 1 getting represented here at the buzzer. And that's how we will wrap things up in Newcastle, where the Leicester Riders lead 73-67. Well, we've seen pretty much everything from young fellas getting an opportunity and seizing the moment to lights out shooting to now the game is beginning to slow down.
The game has definitely taken a turn in that third quarter, and it doesn't seem or appear that Cole Long will be returning to this ball game right now. So the Eagles are a little bit out of depth right now, but the Riders threw a punch that quarter. And in the Eagles' fairness, they responded late, so we'll have ourselves a very good fourth quarter coming up.
There's your stats there. Leicester Riders, 17 assists, leads the league in sharing the basketball, but both teams still shooting high percentage, although the Eagles cooled off there in the third quarter. What's required out of the Eagles?
I mean, just to continue to fight, they have to get some stops there. That last bucket by Ethan Wright was just too easy. And a couple of the looks that the Riders got, maybe the Abercrombie three, just too easy. So continue to make it hard for the Riders offense and get out in transition and play the game that you like, that the Eagles know how to play.
Well, the million-dollar question heading into the fourth quarter, Michael Caro, who picked up his fourth foul there pretty early. When do you roll the dice if you're Mark Studel?
I mean, I'm rolling it now if I'm Coach Studel. I think this Riders team is capable of getting out and pushing this lead further if you continue to hold them on the bench because of the lack of depth. So I would roll the dice now and just tell them to be very careful.
Well, as we get set for the final 10 minutes, our man Dan has come through with the goods. We spoke about Josh Ward-Hibbert in the 5 steals, one off his career high, and then your man in Dooku only had double figures once in top flight basketball, 14 points against the Sheffield Sharks in the Cup in December 2020. So an opportunity for a lot of history here tonight.
Career days to be had for some.
Rob Paternostro, Mark Studel, we talked about the coaching battle there. I'm sure if you ask Coach Studel, he would love to have the career that his opponent has had during his coaching journey.
That is very true. Two great coaches going head-to-head. Excited to see how this one finishes out. As Sover Candy stays on the floor here for the Eagles, and he's holding off on putting in Michael Karu, Drew.
Well, we didn't have this on the build-up. Candy versus Nduku as James looks to get set, steps back.
That's a tough three there. I mean, I thought he had a layup if he wanted it.
That's the Riders coming out of the gate with their defense as Thompson returns as well. And straight away, nearly turns it over. Riders still with a little bit of time. They go back inside, looking to get busy. Flips it over. This time it's an air ball, but Nduku is pushed in the back with 0.2 seconds on the shot clock. He's saying that it should be 2 shots. Let's take a look here. Can't tell from that angle.
Definitely can't tell.
Well, he's doing a great job of selling it.
Yeah, that's part of the reason he got that call. Let's see here. Little contact there.
It's really hard to say if the contact, but nevertheless, what a night that he's having.
Yeah, he's pushing closer to eclipsing that career high. But more importantly, he's ensuring that Leicester hold on to this lead.
Point number 10 on the evening after being named earlier today Team of the Year and British Team of the Year in the NBL. 1. Misses the second, but he'll go into double figures. And Newcastle will try to chip into this 7-point lead.
Lots of basketball left to be played. Love the fluidity of this motion offense there.
Little shake and bake from Pulliam, yes.
That's tough. That's tough. Big time players coming to play in this fourth quarter. That's a silly foul there by Josh Ward-Hibbert. But he's only on his third, so.
Just a little too aggressive. You have to keep in mind the foul count, which might come into play later. As Micah Karu returns for Kande, as Mark Studel was able to squeeze some solid minutes from Sauver.
That's big minutes there by Sauver Kande. And I'm sure the Eagles will be good for it if they can get a stop here.
Here's Hunter getting down to his left hand. Tries to sell the foul. Refs aren't buying. But this time, it's Thompson that's fouled on the floor. And that will be the third team foul on the Eagles with 8:28 here.
Third team foul within 2 minutes of play. It's dangerous territory for the Eagles. They have to do a better job of just boxing Thompson out. He is a tough person to box out.
I was going to say, a lot of teams have tried and a lot of teams have failed.
He does what he does best at a high level. I'll give him that. Eagles got to know that second screen is coming.
Here's Hunter. Takes the space. This time it's Ethan Wright, but this time it's Ward-Hibbert that's down.
And they're moving.
And both teams just taking a bashing here tonight. The physicality of tonight has been on another level. Here's Rob Pedernostro looking on to his former player, Coach Ward-Hibbert, there at Leicester several years ago.
Yeah. The Eagles got to be careful here. They don't want to pick up a tech, but they are running very thin right now.
Yeah. Not too many bodies left there on the bench. We haven't seen Defoe in this second half. We've seen a small cameo there by Will Neighbor as Ward-Hibbert able to walk things off.
They are very wounded right now. But they're only down 5. A lot to play for right here. If you're the Eagles, just got to box out and got to work.
Where here's the matchup, Kande, as he gets his pockets picked by Pulliam. Great defense, which turns into great offense by Pulliam.
Great defense there by Trey Pulliam. As the Eagles have ramped up the energy here in Virtu Motors Arena. And one! Wow, what a move.
As Deshaun Allen-Ikens, this time able to turn defense into offense, and all of a sudden the Newcastle Eagles crowd has woken up.
And Drew, that's what the Eagles need more of. They need more of defensive possessions like that one. Just deflections, just playing a little bit faster and getting this game into the open court in which they play their best basketball.
And this time it's the Eagles turning up the heat defensively. The leading scorers of the night, Christian James sitting comfortably at 16. Spencer Johnson for the Leicester Riders, quiet in the second half, only 2 points. but the offense have been plentiful here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, both teams have 5 players in double figures. The teams are sharing the ball really well. These two teams match up very well. Obviously, Leicester missing one of their best scorers, but both teams are wounded and still playing at a high level, which is what you love to see.
If you're Paternostro, as obviously we see Studel talking to his troops, what will be Paternostro's message to his team?
Let's not overreact. Let's do what we've done this whole entire half, which is playing good basketball, running our sets, and getting stops. They've limited the Eagles' offense to one shot pretty much every possession or most possessions, and made them pay for it on offense because of it. So,
well, Alan Aikens, you spoke earlier about him needing to join the party, and right place, right time. Unable to finish the three-point play, though, so Leicester Riders still lead by 1. A lot on the line for both teams with a lot to play for still. Here's Wright. Akaro needing to be careful there. Ball on the ground. Ball tipped around Thompson, skying over the defense. Sees the Newcastle Eagles body. Hunter runs out of real estate, steps out of bounds.
And the Eagles are very fortunate here to come away with this basketball, but they have to box out Thompson. I don't know how many rebounds he's up to right now, but that's you got to give him 6 offensive rebounds. He's literally destroying them on the boards.
Well, after all of that, the Newcastle Eagles within 1 and an opportunity to regain the lead. Pulliam shakes loose, drops it off too low. Riders in business. Here's Johnson.
That's a great move there by Johnson. His patience is what allowed him to get down to that bucket. Great move.
Riders lead back to 3. Akaro, who sat most of that third quarter due to foul trouble, over 2 defenders.
That's a shot that he's accustomed to taking and accustomed to making, so gotta live with that if you're the Eagles.
Inside to Thompson. Right with that quick first step, steps in, finishes inside the teeth of the Newcastle Eagles defense, and Mark Studel calls for another timeout.
Yeah, it just looks like the depth might be an issue in this late fourth quarter for the Eagles. They don't want to foul.
And that's the issue of picking up those early fouls, because now situations like this, you can't be too aggressive. Micah Karu, with 4 fouls himself, has to lay off the action. You see the outstretched arms, and that could be a factor, and there's a lot of time left on the clock.
So much time left. I mean, it's still, this game can go either way. But right now, it's definitely favoring the Riders, just with all that's going on the Eagles sideline.
Well, both teams seesawing as it has been a game of runs. We talked about both coaches earlier. And this is the part of the game that the coaches make their money, calling timely timeouts, delivering the right message, drawing up the right play. All of that matters.
Just instilling confidence in your guys that this game is not over yet. It's a lot to still be had for both teams.
Well, in the meantime, let's check across town. Sheffield Sharks with the 2-point lead, 1 minute left in there. In Caledonia, we'll keep you updated on other scores. Well, 78-73, 6:40 here in Newcastle.
And as we just overheard on the announcement, Cole Long is heading to the hospital for treatment. He will not be returning.
Well, the Eagles must play on, and Christian James a little too strong on that play. Here's Hunter with the stop and go, runs into a crowd.
The Riders are doing a good job of just moving that basketball.
Great hands by James. They go back inside to Abercrombie, who has the matchup of the young fella. Can't finish. You talked about the offensive rebounding, and the Riders continue the onslaught.
Yeah, they just continue to crash the glass very hard. Unfamiliar territory for Silvera, maybe having to guard a little bit bigger there, but it's the effort by the Riders that needs to be spoken more about.
The relentlessness has led to 14 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and we still got ourselves a ball game here.
Hunter.
Another
somehow, this time it's Johnson. And teams rarely go empty 3 times in a possession. Riders with their third opportunity. 4 seconds on the clock, and it's Abercrombie who finishes things off. Riders lead by 8.
Now it's starting to dry up a little bit for the Eagles here. Unfortunately, they're running out of steam, and they're also running out of time.
Well, Ward Hibbert somehow is going to make another appearance in this one. As Eagles dodge a bullet there, Johnson comes up short, and the Riders with another offensive possession, and this time it's right from the opposite wing.
Yeah, and you hate to see it. Not even sure if it's smart from Josh to even go on this one at this point. There's a lot to be had, but you got a couple games left.
And just like that, the Leicester Riders. This time it's Silvera Kande with the push in the back. Followed up by a technical foul on Kande. And you can see the Eagles unraveling. Hunter will head to the free throw line for the technical as he cashes it in. And
frustration starting to brew here in Virtue Motors Arena. And there's another technical.
And this time it's on Coach Mark Studel. He was just previously warned. And that will be his second, and his night is done.
As the Eagles are calling for a timeout here, and Mark Studel is...
Well, emotions brewing here in Newcastle as Mark Studel will go get an early shower. And it's another technical, but this one will be issued on the bench.
Yeah, it's a tough night for the Eagles, tough quarter. Obviously, it's not the way the Eagles wanted this one to turn out, but credit Leicester for sticking to it, playing hard and fighting and securing that second seed. It looks like if they continue this on this course.
Well, you mentioned that. Things aren't done in Caledonia as Sheffield with a 2-point lead with 14 seconds remaining there.
I mean, I think this is a night for everybody to just, it's a step-up night. I think we've seen a lot of people step up. Now we see the assistant coach and Samuel step up right here.
Well, Sam Mooney, the Eagles assistant coach, gets his first taste of coaching at the big level.
Yeah, you love to see that, though. You got to take some positives away from something, you know?
And look at this, engaged immediately as he moves over a seat. And as an assistant coach, again, I talked about with Nduku being able to embrace this moment. Nothing in practice can prepare Sam for this opportunity.
That is true. That is true. And he looks ready and eager to to take on the challenge at hand, which is inspiring to see.
Whoa. A youth movement in Newcastle tonight. If I would have told you before the game Sam Mooney would be coaching Xavier Kande against the Leicester Riders in a must-win game, what would you have said to that?
Eagles might be in trouble. But I'm happy for him. More importantly, I am super happy for him.
Well, Hunter unable to take advantage there as he only made 1 out of the 3 free throws, but it will remain a Riders ball.
You never know. I mean, this game is far from over. These guys could come up with some courage right here, get a few stops, see a 3 or 2 go in, and boom, just like that.
Well, boy, what a moment that will be if the Eagles are somehow able to pull it off, and straight out the gate, they get a turnover.
Here we go.
Here's Allen Ikens, nowhere to go. Kande steps back over the outstretched arm of Spencer Johnson and ring it up.
And here we go. And here we go. Just another stop.
I don't know what you're doing, but you need to get your eyes glued on this finish here in Newcastle, but a little bit overly aggressive there on that possession. And what we forgot to mention is that Fab Flournoy is getting to witness all of this.
This is true. Upstairs this time, though. He moved seats. But unfortunately, the Eagles are in the bonus right now. Excuse me, the Riders are in the bonus, so they're shooting 2 free throws on the remainder.
Well, I'm sure Fab wasn't expecting. I thought he expected a nice, quiet evening in Virtue Motors Arena, and boy, he's gotten pretty much a taste of everything.
Definitely got a taste.
I mean, you might as well finish it off. Should we welcome him down to finish coaching this game?
I mean, or you can welcome to the broadcast booth as well, either one, as Spencer Johnson continues to add to his tally of the day.
Spencer Johnson, a man on a mission. As we return back to action, Kande. James working from the top of the key. Gets inside, tries to draw the contact. And the ball will stay here. Refs just talking things over as they try to discuss whose ball will be in line. Well, Leicester Riders lead 88-76, 3:56 remaining in this one. Still plenty of time as it will be Eagles ball here. On the sideline, Mark Studel, if you're just tuning in, ejected moments ago. Assistant coach Sam Mooney stepping up, getting his first opportunity, and Micah Carew is fouled. And meanwhile, while former Newcastle Eagle coach Fab Flournoy is in the house as well.
It's a great move there by Micah Carew. He's been kind of quiet. Obviously, he's been in foul trouble majority of this evening. So good sight to see him get to the free throw line here. And again, the clock isn't your friend, but when the clock stops right now, it becomes your friend. So more free throws for the Eagles is exactly what the doctor ordered up.
Well, Micah Carew, quiet night as you mentioned, only 12 after that free throw. While Charles Thompson having a quiet night himself, only 5 points himself to go along with 4 fouls. Well, here's Leicester. Hunter in a battle with Pulliam, and this time Pulliam just a little bit too aggressive. And you can tell from the moment Hunter received that ball that he was looking to seek the foul as the Eagles are in the bonus.
Yeah, and this game is just becoming, it seems about the referees, but needless to say, a lot of time still for the Eagles. They just have to defend without fouling. You got to adjust to how the calls are being made.
They clearly, from this opening quarter, have called all the touchy fouls, so you as a player, you have to adjust. As Hunter still 1 for his last 4 at the free throw line. splits the two. Eagles looking to get inside of 10 points. Nice hesitation move. Nowhere to go. Kande this time trying to make it 3 for 3 and doesn't. Thompson, point guard duties. Great ball movement from the Riders.
And at this point of the shot clock, you just don't want to foul if you're the Eagles. You've gotten it all the way down.
And a nice cut there from Johnson, who will eclipse his SLB career high with that bucket. 23 points on the evening.
Yeah, what a performance by Spencer Johnson.
But Allen Aikens responds.
10-point game. Eagles need to stop without fouling.
Well, you mentioned it before. Eagles been overly aggressive this quarter and have paid the price. Here's Thompson, steps around the defense, and there you go.
Yeah, and they're targeting Micah Carey right now, knowing that he can't foul. Just smart offense.
Here's James, runs out of room, steps around, hangs, blocked. As he's able to draw the foul there on Ethan Wright.
That's only the Riders' third foul.
So it'll be a baseline out of bounds. Riders still with the foul to give. That ball deflected off the rim there, so we'll swap sides for the inbounds. Here's Allen Aikens. Looking to work Thompson, who's in foul trouble himself. Great finish.
It's a great finish there by Deshaun Allen Aikens.
Eagles showing pressure in the backcourt. And here's Johnson, Ethan Wright, excuse me, with the great backdoor cut.
A great finish there. Crowd asking for an 8-second violation, but unfortunately didn't quite get that.
And here's Pulliam, who answers back.
Yeah, it's a lot of trading of the baskets right now, but stops have to be had if the Eagles really want to make a run here late.
Here's Hunter, absorbs the double team. Abercrombie, and we have a sportsmanlike foul on Kande, and if I'm not mistaken,
he's gone.
He will be gone. Drew the technical foul earlier. So the rules of the game, you get a technical foul and an unsportsmanlike foul. Equals a night to the showers.
Yeah, he joins Coach Studel with that one. He has to go.
Well, unclear of the rules there. Went to go sit back on the bench, but have to leave the arena. As Kande night ends early. I mean, the Eagles already without Seneca Knight, without Defoe, without Malcolm Delpeche. I'm not sure if they have anybody left there on the bench. If Akaru fouls out.
I don't think they do. Maybe Josh Ward-Hibbert, but I have not. Josh Ward-Hibbert's still on the bench actually, so they have one more player.
One more healthy player with the quotation marks. As now, if you're both teams, you just want to get out of here unscathed, injury-free, as there's still a lot of important basketball to be played as Jalen Hunter issues the dagger.
Yeah, and that'll pretty much do it. Fortunately, this second half got away from the Eagles.
Pulliam able to score a layup on his own, and this time it's Charles Thompson, and his night will be over. I mean, I should have mentioned to you, Ron, before this to bring your sneakers, because there might be a possibility your services could be required.
I'm always ready. Probably out of shape at this point, but I'm always ready.
Well, I think we've seen pretty much everything in this matchup tonight, but there's still a minute 13 to be played again. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little foreshadowing to the playoffs.
It is. Could this possibly be a matchup?
I believe now, possibly 3-6 matchup, because the Leicester Riders could still finish third. And this is Micah Karu's night, who is finished. Wow.
Yeah, I think everybody just has to keep their cool. This one is getting blown out of proportion.
I mean, at this point,
so who's going to step in for the Eagles here? It has to be Josh.
well, somebody's going to have to hobble out there, and it's going to be Defoe. After not playing a whole second half, he's forced to enter the bloodbath that we've seen here tonight.
It's an absolute bloodbath. It's the best way to describe it. I would love to see if these two teams matched up in the playoffs. With the healthy Newcastle team and a healthy Riders team, we're due some good basketball.
I mean, who wouldn't want to see round number 7, as both teams have played each other 6 times this season, as Jalen Hunter calmly knocks down his 19th point of the night.
Guess it's too early to do MVPs, or should we relinquish the goods early?
Well, at this point, should both teams just dribble out the ball?
I think so. It's in the best interest, but
well, Pulliam,
he's dribbling, but he's
still in a competitive nature as he gets closed out by Hunter, and Hunter immediately is eager to get back. And we have this time, there's a foul on Pulliam. Luckily for him, it's only his 3rd.
There's still 2 more free throws to be had.
Well, I mean, I'm with you, Ron. We need this matchup in round 1.
I would love it.
ASAP.
I would love it. I don't know how we get it, but Sheffield, do us a favor. Somebody do us a favor. This is the matchup that I want to see round 1. And I think both parties will want it as well.
Well, if you are new to the SLB, this is just a little taste of what the Riders and the Eagles matchup used to be like. Many battles I've experienced against the Riders come out on the winning side, have come out on the losing side. It's always one of those games when you wake up the next morning, you're gonna feel just a wee bit sore. Well, MVP talk, Ron.
It has to go to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson played his tail off today from the start to the finish, and it's a career night for him, so why not end it with the MVP?
Well, a professional career evening for Spencer Johnson, as Abercrombie finishes off the Newcastle Eagles. As they decide to dribble things out, and I don't think I've ever seen a standing ovation from the home crowd here in Virtue.
After a loss
After a loss.
Yeah.
But we have it as the Leicester Riders, after all of that, come out on top, 106-91, and I can only sum that up with one word: wow. But ultimately, well-deserved from the Leicester Riders. It was that that third quarter there where the turning point was Micah Karu getting into foul trouble, and the Leicester Riders were able to take advantage. And more importantly, if you're a Leicester Riders fan, you're one step closer to sealing that 2 seed. Well, both teams leaving everything on the floor, literally. But nevertheless, we wrap up the final regular home game for the Newcastle Eagles. And ironically, it's the Leicester Riders who pulls things off. 106-91. There's your stats there. The Leicester Riders were dominant on the boards. 44 rebounds, out-rebounding the Riders by 19. And 17 of those were offensive, which led to 16 second chance points. And there's your ball game right there. Well, Ron is down courtside with our MVP, Spencer Johnson.
All right, I'm here with Spencer Johnson. Spencer, first off, great performance tonight. You had a career high. Talk us through that performance.
Yeah, I mean, my teammates just came saying, shoot the ball, and shot it with confidence, and it went in.
All right, and this is the second time you've had a great game against the Eagles. Are you just very comfortable here, or like what is it to it?
Yeah, it must be that 3-hour bus ride. Just gives me time to think.
Well, great win, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. Thanks.
And next up, we're going to be joined by Coach Rob Paternostra as he comes and joins us here. No need to rush, Coach. No need to rush, Coach. First off, congratulations. Great win. Tough loss on Wednesday in the Capitol. What was your message to the team, and how'd you get it to them to respond today?
Yeah, we knew that it was a tough night for us. We were out of the league title, but we wanted to play way better than we did Wednesday, and I thought besides the first 7-8 minutes, we did. You know, I'm really proud of the guys. We're down probably our best player in Zach Jackson. Hey, Zach, hope you're well. But, yeah, these guys showed a lot of toughness tonight to come through.
They definitely did. And just alluding to that, what was the message at halftime? Because it was a different team after in the second half.
Yeah, I think that taking care of the basketball, not giving points off turnovers. I thought in the first half they had 15 points off turnovers. Came out in the third quarter and they only had 2 in the quarter. So that was really important for us. And then just put some points on the board. We had a huge number in the second half.
Congratulations, great win, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, after the disappointment in the Capitol on Wednesday night, after seeing the title slip out of the Leicester Riders' hands, it was Spencer Johnson who responded here in Newcastle. A career-high 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. It is a terrific all-around performance for the Leicester Riders, who, after the Sheffield Sharks took care of business in Caledonia, still need one more win or a Sheffield Shark loss to secure that second spot, which for the Riders, which would be a very, very successful season. A game that was a back and forth seesaw, but let's take a look at the action around the SLB. There's your final there. The Cheshire Phoenix coming up on top of the Flyers, 93-81, and the Sharks taking care of business in Caledonia. We got more action tomorrow, but more importantly, we finish off Sunday Fun Day with a full course meal for you, 4 games on the plate. And don't forget, the playoffs kick off next weekend, so stay locked in. Good night from Newcastle.
The most prestigious event in the British basketball diary and the culmination of the Super League basketball season. It's time for the playoffs. The top 8 teams from the regular season take part in a seeded knockout competition to determine who are the best ballers in the country. franchises are seeded according to their final positions in the championship table. They must battle through two-legged quarter-final and semi-final ties if they have any hope of booking a place at the grand finale in London at the O2 Arena on May the 18th. Let the games begin.
A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.